where visionary leaders build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. Right, Legacy Builders, welcome back to another show. I'm so excited to be back with you at the Life School Masterclass show. And today we're diving into the topic of the 3 secrets to finding your voice. We speak about authenticity here very, very often, and finding your own unique voice as you're building your very successful legacy companies is one of those skills, I guess, or something that we all have inside of us. And through the exploration of figuring out how to do so, we can stay true to that and have the clarity that we need. So I have the amazing pleasure and honor to have Dr. Doreen Downing today. And she's going to share with us some of those secrets to being able to do just so. So, Doreen, let's jump right into the topic. Thanks so much for coming on. What are those 3 secrets to finding your voice based on your work?
Oh, let's just dive in. That's great. Well, the first secret is presence, and that means being able to be totally in this particular now. People have had past experiences that were traumatic or that brought them the fear about speaking again in public. So presence is the number one, because just being completely here with myself and with you or with an audience is what is most powerful. So number 2 is connection. And connection is, well, what are we connecting with? I'm saying my passion. I loved what your intro said about being positive and affecting positive change, because what we're establishing with people is this channel of whatever our message happens to be, whatever our product happens to be. We want to deliver it to somebody, and that somebody is a person, right? So connection, connecting, learning how to connect positively, your word here, to your listener. And third would be authenticity. You mentioned it already. And authenticity is, well, what does that actually mean? You know, I mean, we can go around, what does that mean to just speak up anytime you want? No. I mean, there's got to be, that's why presence is so important, because if you're really in the now, you are tuned in to what needs to be said, how to say it, especially if you're connected to a listener, and then you can be more authentic. So those are the 3 I would start with. I have 7, but those are in the book.
I love it. I so love all the 3 that you mentioned are so important, and we kind of led into the first one. And yeah, sometimes we hear about these words separately, but unless we kind of go through our own personal experience to be able to find meaning for each and find ways to be able to implement those in our life and business, that is where the journey is in the implementation. So I love that you shared that, Doreen. Based on your practice or the years of work that you've had with your clients, what do you think hold most people back from implementing those 3 secrets that you shared with us?
Well, it's a journey. It's a journey to find what holds us back, right? I had a PhD in psychology, and I was okay when I was with one person in my office, but put me in front of a group, and I started to have that rapid heart beating, the fear. And so the number one thing that keeps people from implementing or moving forward in their life, level up, as you said, is fear. Fear. That's the biggest thing. So, and what I've noticed with people is that in order to work on to do the implementation, you have to first face the fear. You have to look at it. You have to. Uh, I really do think we can dissolve fear, and I don't really. I know that the popular motto is feel the fear and do it anyway. I would much rather help people dissolve fear, that in doing it, more of them can show up.
Mm. Absolutely. You said it, fear, right? And at every level of growth that we like to get into, or level of leveling up, whatever that means to everybody, right? I think it's just clear definition. The way that I describe leveling up, it's just the next phase of growth. If I have a specific goal for the next thing that I would like to do, it's that stretch goal that makes us kind of, that has, that brings up this fear, brings up maybe some of the old stories, brings up some of the triggers that we experience. I love that you said that obviously everybody's journey is so unique and personalized. However, I'm sure that you've seen the patterns, and I love that you mentioned fear, that is the thing that holds us back the most, for sure. And Doreen, let's give people the rest of the pillars without obviously going into depth, because you do have an amazing book out that you have kind of gone into depth for each of these different pillars, let's call them, or secrets. What are the other pillars that you have identified based on your extensive work that you've also listed in the book as far as helping people find their true voice?
That's funny because you said extensive work. It was an extensive inner work. But when I
Mm.
did have to face, not have to, but chose to go on that inner journey to find my voice. And I would say Toastmasters took me only so far, and that the rest of it, I had to really go in and do that deep self exploration to face my fears. And that's how come I came up with these, and I call them secrets, because they aren't traditional public speaking training. It's really about truly finding your voice. So the first one is stillness, and that people have a big fear of going blank. We have to learn how to calm our bodies, quiet our minds. So that's number one, is stillness. The second one is what I mentioned before, presence, being in the here and now, so that this presence isn't disrupted by the past, or that you're thinking about the future and realizing a negative outcome. So presence. Third is eyes available. I do a whole lesson on how to gaze softly as opposed to eye contact. Eye contact has a little bit of an edge, but gazing softly is so much more welcoming and warm. And then the fourth is listening. We see ourselves as speakers, but what if we were in front of people, and yes, we are the speaker, but what if we started to imagine ourselves as the biggest listener in the room? Five is positivity, and I tell you that we carry the smile in our hearts, so that, and we have a radiance, an energy that I think resonates or vibrates, whatever the word you want to use, and that reaches people because we have a positive core inside, connection. And then what are we connecting to? That core passion inside of ourselves. And we don't have to be afraid if we know that inside of everybody that we're speaking with has a positive energy, a jewel, let's say, inside. And the last one of all things is be yourself, rather than just tell people to be themselves. You have to work your way to discovering the truth of who you are, and how to express that whenever you have to be in a situation with people.
Yeah. Absolutely powerful, all of those different pillars. And, just like I said, the implementation of those is to each his own wherever you are in the journey. But the last one, we've heard that so many times, be yourself. But it's one thing to know it, and another thing for us to embody that in our everyday life. So beautiful, beautiful work, Dr. Doreen. What is in the name, the title of your book, and where is it that people can find it if they're curious,
Yeah.
curious around some of the depth of the each of these pillars that you mentioned.
Right. And you're right. Each one does have depth. It's not just something that you go, oh, yes, I have to quiet my mind. Oh, yes, I have to find the stillness, the still center point inside of me, because that's a whole process and a training in itself. But the book is called The Seven Secrets to Essential Speaking. Find your voice, change your life. And I say essential speaking, meaning the essence of who we are. And some people think about that as the soul or the spirit or the uniqueness of who we are. But basically, it is our core essence, the truth of who we are. So the book is all about that, and some about my journey, but I also give tips and techniques about how to do each one of those steps or secrets I talk about.
I love it. Do you have a physical copy to give us a visual or not? Not next to you right now.
Not next to me, but I just stood up and here it is. Is
There we
that,
go.
can you
All
see?
right. Yeah, we can absolutely decode that. And I'm sure that we'll be able to link to that as well. Thank you so much for
And
sharing that.
this,
Mm.
you'll see that's why I call it the essence. And that's what I have is that sense of diamond, you might say, that's inside of all of us, our essence.
Oh, I love that, and what it represents on the cover as well. Doreen, let me ask you a little bit more around the I guess the purpose behind your work. So, can you share with us a few of the most meaningful moments that led you to what you're doing today? Who are you? How did you decide to do this work? Why did you feel called to this vocation to be able to help people, with this area?
Oh, that's a deep question, also. Coming from a very early childhood experience of being the daughter of a mother who had mental illness. And I think I learned very early on that inside the house was kind of doom and gloom, but outside, just in the garden was blooming. So I think that being a little girl looking out at the world in the bright sun and the beauty of the flowers and what was outside was a little different than what was inside my house, which was something more like depression, not more like depression, it was. So I think that standing on the threshold, knowing both, knowing that there's, for people who suffer, for people who have any kind of a struggle, there is just on the other side of the door is possibility. So I think that kind of belief inside of myself happened way back when I was probably 5 years old, and carried that all the way through my PhD and started my practice, because that's what my passion and purpose happens to be, is helping
Mhm.
people find who they truly are. And that's why I call it find your voice, because your voice is always with find your voice so that you can change your life.
There you go, right? It's not by chance that you're doing this work. It's definitely connected to your life journey as well and your purpose. So I was so curious, and I feel like that's what powers up or fuels our whys. Why is it that we want to do this work, and why is it that we want to help others? So I always appreciate hearing everyone share their unique perspective and journey as to why they're here and why they really want to create impact in the world through their work and be able to do more good in the world. And it's always because of those experiences that now we want to share those with others as well. So
Well,
thank you so much for
you shared
that.
you shared some of your own story with me on my podcast around being somebody
Mm.
who had a lot of energy to go for it early on, and your passion seems like for you too showed up early.
Yeah, thanks so much. I definitely enjoyed that interview, and you definitely will let us know a little bit more regarding where is it that we can find your podcast. But I like the depth. I like the depth of each conversation because, especially as we are conscious leaders, people that are always interested in personal developing and raising our awareness, you just get so much more insight by just speaking about our experiences and our life journeys, right? And for me,
Yeah.
that's always been important. And that's how we've learned as humans from generation to generation, right? We've passed on our experiences, or I guess truths of life that have stayed tried and true through the test of time, and we're able to now share it and help more people. So to me, I've always been curious around that. So that was definitely a great, insightful conversation that we had together there as well. Doreen, we've actually reached the end of our show today, but I usually ask my guests to share one final, I guess, impactful lesson that your school of life has taught you that you like to share with our audience today. Speaking of experiences, what is the one impactful lesson? I know it's hard to pick just one, but one that you really, it's kind of kept showing up in your life, and until you figured it out and you learned it, then it was, you set yourself free so that you could share it with others.
Oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity to have another conversation with you. I feel like you understand and promote this inner work, and I think that's what's so important. I like to say, I like to encourage people to to learn how to face and to embrace, and then they can replace. And it's fear that I think stands in our way of being more of who we can be. And from my learning, my lessons, there are many, many, many stories of, the more we hide, or the more that we hold ourselves back because of fear, the more we shrink. And I am encouraging people to be unafraid of that inner journey, that's where you might say, that's where the gold is inside of ourselves.
Mm, I love that lesson. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And also, my last question for you is, where is it that we can get this conversation started? Where is it that you have posted some of your best work or even resources for our audience? What is your website, I'm assuming, and also the name of your podcast?
Yeah, the website I think is the best place to go because it has links to everything. I have a YouTube channel. I have some podcasts on Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast, and they'll be able to find you on there too. So I think it's wonderful. We are all circling around each other and sharing what we love and our gifts.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about collaboration, sharing our resources with one another, because we can absolutely rise together. And we have such unique life journeys and purposes anyway. So if we can add value to one another and our audiences, at least it's something I always appreciate. So I want to thank you for having me again, and encourage everyone to check out Dr. Doreen's website and also a podcast for a lot of those in-depth inner work and conversations that are so necessary to your business success as well. So, Dr. Doreen, thank you so much for your time. And I want to thank you for always watching and supporting the show by sharing it, subscribing it, and also being able to do the collaboration that we always talk about and connect with our guests further. I find that that's the biggest value out of putting together a show like this so that we can start these conversations. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with another amazing guest and conversation. Bye, everybody. I want to invite you to be one of our community experts for our biggest global community of purpose driven entrepreneurs and CEOs who are led by purpose, and, of course, also learn how to align their profits in their companies and in their businesses. Their legacy through entrepreneurship is really their way, their vocation, in how they actually get to do more good in the world. In our Community Expert C Suite program, we have included amazing, amazing benefits for you as a purpose driven entrepreneur, where in our audience of over 30,000 purpose driven entrepreneurs, I warmly introduce you to high level quality connections that can help you collaborate, further advance your cause and also align your purpose and your profit as well. Another benefit for joining our community as a community expert is the connection between the free and also the paid speaking opportunities that we add into our membership every week, so that you get to create magic with you speaking and sharing your message with other audiences as well. This way, leveraging a lot of those high level relationships to grow your own business and to be able to speak alongside the amazing work that you are doing on the day to day. We also invite you to our twice a year conferences. You'll be one of our keynote speakers as part of the community benefits, where of course you get visibility, showcasing the work that you're doing, but also being able to connect further with amazing purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Another benefit of being a member in the community is that you get to be featured in our monthly magazine, and you get to be a contributor to our magazine as well. And then lastly, of course, you get to participate in our community speaking events that we host every week inside our community, so that you can further share your message, but also, most importantly, be able to constantly connect to amazing people that you can add to your network to further nurture those relationships and form amazing strategic partnerships in the long term growing of your business as well. In order to find out more information and ways to join our community expert program, feel free to go to my website, elonalaparicoaching.com/events, and you'll be able to get more information around some of these benefits, but also new benefits that we're always adding to our community expert program, so that again, you can align yourself with the right community that's going to support you, but also most importantly, help you nurture and grow your purpose and your profit as well this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you with another episode.